Hey everybody, it's Ricardo, and I am here at Comic-Con 2009, and I'm sitting with Frank O'Connor with some very special friends. So Frank, you want to introduce your posse?
Sure. So, like I said, I'm Frank O'Connor. To my left is Joseph Cho. He's our producer on the Halo Legends project. And to his left, this is Mr. Shinji Aramaki, who is the director of the Casio episode, currently named Package, also mechanical designer on the Bones episode, which is currently codenamed Prototype, and has been a creative director on the project entire also.
So for those that don't know, the Halo Legends project was just announced yesterday on Thursday at the show. And it is, well, I guess probably the best example would be it's kind of an Animatrix style take on the Halo universe, yeah?
Yeah, it's an anthology of stories from different creators and different studios in Japan. There are 7 stories in total, which actually amounts to 8 episodes, since one of them from Studio 4 Degrees C is split into 2 parts. It's a very big story. It covers the Forerunner story all the way to the events at the end of Halo 3, so that one had to be split into 2. So 7 stories, 8 episodes.
So Maki-san, what interested you in participating in the project, and once you got on board, how was it like collaborating? Can you explain that process to us?
He says it's very, very simple. He actually got to play Halo 3 a few years ago when he first got his Xbox 360 as a present from his wife. His whole family is a gamers. So, and then he, once he learned, really got into the game, he went back and played 1 and 2, and really, learned to appreciate not only the play balance and how fun it is, just the beautiful designs and the universe behind it. He really started to get into it. Just around that time, actually, we finished an anime called Appleseed Ex Machina, and then we were just discussing what to do next. And we kept talking about, wow, it'd be great if we can do something like Halo. And I said, wow, yeah, why not? But it's easy to say, but I think we were incredibly fortunate that the opportunity did come, and the rest is history, I guess.
And Frank, you want to explain how this came about? Because as the Bungie rep, you guys have been very protective and very deliberate about the things you've done with Halo to kind of craft everything, and this is kind of a big thing.
Yeah, so now I'm at 343 Industries now, of course, and we continue to steward and shepherd the Halo franchise. This project did kind of germinate as the seed of an idea way back in the day. And if you remember, we did the Halo graphic novel where we said, hey, it'd be great to do a graphic novel, get some other artists to interpret our universe. And we spoke to people like Phil Hale and Mobius and real luminaries in the comic book industry. And we talked about an anime, and one day that'd be great to do. And Alicia Hatch, one of our business development people, came and talked to me more than a year ago now, and said, is this still something that we're interested in doing? Does it make sense in the universe? Does it work strategically? Do fans care? And I said yes, it really would. And so conversation started, certainly with Joseph way back then. And we did what we did with the graphic novel, which was we went to our favorite anime studios and the top creators in the industry and said, do you want to do something in the Halo universe? And one by one, they just said yes. And so it all really came together. And once we'd assembled that group, we started the project in earnest. And here we are. We're getting new footage from each episode in every day. And some of the episodes are very close to completion. Some are a little further out. And it's just a really exciting time in the development.
And can you tell us about the stories that were chosen to be a part of it? Because, Halo Legends definitely sounds like an umbrella where you can do whatever you wanted. So tell us about the choices.
Yeah, so the story choices there were two ways to approach it. One, and there were things that we definitely wanted to explore in the Halo universe as creators. Things like the history of elites, certain aspects of the Master Chief, certain aspects of the Spartan program that people want to dive a little deeper on. But we also wanted to make sure that we were getting the correct input from the designers and the artists and the directors at the anime studio. So we definitely gave people a lot of freedom to interpret, certainly universal freedom to interpret, and in some cases, freedom to build stories where they felt confident enough in doing that. Some of the studios, they were very new to the Halo franchise and were scared to even seed stories, and sometimes we had to do a little hand-holding there, but in some cases they were big Halo fans, had very firm ideas about what kind of stories they wanted to tell in that universe, and went right ahead and spec'd out scripts and sent story ideas to us, and we, approved or worked with them and changed things, and sometimes made things fit canonically, but very little in the way of roadblocks. We were working with a bunch of people who understood and got the universe, and generally we were approving things rather than changing them.
Now, Aramaki-san, anime has a very unique approach to storytelling, and what was it like collaborating for you in your studio, and also from a visual standpoint, what was it like sort of finding an art style that was true to the studio but also fit the brand?
In terms of the storytelling, he was already into the Halo, the universe itself, and the first thing I did actually was to get Fallout Reach translated and send it over to him as soon as possible. So we all started reading it and get all excited about it. But a lot of research and also summaries, basically getting checked by Frank to really kind of as a one-on-one to a lot of people. And just as we were kind of reading through and doing it, and then he actually had some idea, like a seeds of ideas about what stories that he wanted to tell. And that was actually suggested to Frank, and Frank came up with his ideas that he wants to also do as these episodes. So after we got that okay, and then we got that approval to go ahead, then I think from that point on, looking at the stories themselves, okay, this is actually action-oriented, so it might be actually best, for this studio. This is actually more the human drama. It'll be better for that studio. This is a more grand in scope and storytelling. It's sort of like a documentary almost, in a way, the chronicling the story of Halo universe. Okay, it might be go to that studio. It should be going to that studio. So, and then from that studio, once we had those studios on board, then we tried to find the appropriate creator who would interpret that in the best way possible, which actually then informed the type of visual that we wanted to create for for each episode, basically. So that's how everything kind of built in a sense.
Now, given the kind of like the rich look that all the episodes have, that's really varied, has the thought popped up to maybe come full circle and do games based on this that are similar in terms of look?
I wouldn't really draw a distinction between games feeding off of the fiction and animation feeding off of the fiction, and I think that the visual styles that we see in this piece they're unique to the creators and sometimes unique to specific artists within those studios, and I think it would be a mistake to try and artificially map a style onto Halo. One of the really exciting and compelling parts of this project is just how recognizably Halo everything is in even the most extreme visual mode. And I would call out IG production IG specifically their episode Duel, which is painted in a watercolor style. It is incredibly startlingly vibrant look and very, very charismatic and unusual method of animating, but it still looks like Halo because elites are elites and they're recognizably elites. And that's been one of the most fun aspects of this project, is just seeing how robust and how easy to interpret this universe is, and that, full credit goes to Bungie and the original creators of the Halo universe for making such recognizable, memorable shapes, silhouettes, characters, scenarios, and architecture, and it just works in almost any style that we choose to interpret it in, and it's because it's strong. And so, with that in mind, and to answer your original question, I just don't see any real need to interpret Halo in any way other than the natural ways in which it evolves. So if that means future games, they should evolve naturally and take on a visual style that's of the moment, that's maybe technologically based, or it may be an artistic direction, but whatever's natural at that time.
And so you guys have basically committed to a handful of episodes. Do you foresee this becoming something larger and kind of more extensive if these are well received?
Hopefully they'll be well received, and this is definitely conceived as an individual project and a one-off. That's not to say that we wouldn't revisit some of these places and scenarios and even visual styles in the future, but right now we're planning for Halo Legends to be a one-time deal. But everything's canon with the exception of Toei's episode, which is kind of a fun episode for kids, and it's wildly off canon. And so everything that's canon can reappear elsewhere in the universe. You know, we have a lot of stories in the universe. We have novels and we have comic books, and now we have an anime, and there are plenty of avenues for us to explore those characters and revisit some of the scenarios and some of the stuff that we've invented for Halo Legends.
All right, so the last question is, when can people check this stuff out and bring it home?
So you'll be able to preview some of the episodes from Halo Legends in the fall through Halo Waypoint, which is a Halo hub destination that you'll be able to play on your Xbox 360 through the dashboard again in the fall. And the complete collection of all 8 pieces will be available through our partner Warner Brothers on DVD and digital distribution early next year.
Thank you very much. And there you go, folks. That is your first look at Halo Legends.